Hi, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this origami frog. I know that I say this a lot, but this is truly a very cute design in my opinion. It's also fairly beginner friendly and a good introduction as well to 3D origami models. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and thank you for watching. So I have made this model several times. Most of these here are using 15 centimeter kami, but I know a lot of you don't have access to origami paper, so this one here uses printer paper just so you can see how it looks like. And let me just show you the 15 centimeter one again, more close up. And I'm going to be making this model with 24 centimeter kami, which is about 9 or 10 inches. And we're going to start with the secondary color, or the primary color of the model, face down, and the secondary color face up. To begin, we're going to fold along the diagonals in half. Repeat on the other half. And the next step is going to be making a 7x7 grid, and that can be a little bit difficult. There's a lot of ways to do this. One way is to just fold an 8x8 grid and trim off one of the edges. This book uses a way that involves some angular geometry, but I'm going to show you my personal favorite way. It might be a little bit confusing, but I think, in my opinion, it's the most effective. So I'm going to take this edge and fold slightly upward. Technically, it doesn't matter how far you fold this, but for bonus points, it should be like a bit more than a fourth. And I'm just going to make a little pinch crease here on the edge. And just so you can see this, I'm going to color this blue. Next, fold up to the previous crease that we just made. And fold down to the previous crease we just made. And this is the general iteration. We're going to fold up to the previous crease, up to the previous crease, and down to the previous crease. So the iteration is going to be up, up, down. So again, we fold up to here. And I'm going to color this green this time. Hopefully you can see it all right. Let's fold up again. And down. So as you can see, as we go further, the gap between the two creases decreases. So in other words, this folding sequence converges in a sense, because the gap here is rather large while the gap here is very small. So eventually the more we fold, the more the error decreases. And you'll see what this approaches in the end. I'm just going to do one more sequence, folding up. And I'll color this one orange. Let me see this again. As you can see, it's practically right on the green line. So we've already essentially reached convergence, or at least very close to it. And now I'm going to fold down to the previous orange line. And I'm going to fold completely this time. You can fold it sharply if you want, but just for being safe, I'm not going to fold it completely sharply yet. So just to slightly elaborate on what we just did, this line here is about 1/7 of the paper. This line here is about 2/7, and this line here is about 4/7. So next, we just need to make the 3/7 line by bringing these two lines together. I'm just making this a mountain fold because I personally find it easier. So here's the 3/7 line. And we're going to fold up to the 3/7 line to create the 5/7 line. So I'll write on here 5/7. And as you can see, each of these segments should be around the same size. Now all that's left is the 6/7 line. So what I also like to do with grid folding is to make sure all of these lines are folded both as mountain folds and valley folds. So that'll create something known as a gender neutral fold, or I think more accurately it can be described as a gender fluid fold, because once it's already been folded into both the mountain and a valley, it's very easy to reverse it again. That is, there's not much resistance when you need to change the crease. If you're using printer paper, reversing is a lot easier. But you need to be really careful with something like kami. So now let's check that I did this correctly. I'm gonna fold this in like a fan pattern. Whoops. And here. So just so you can see, there is a little bit of error here, but for the most part, this is relatively perfect sevenths. And let's repeat perpendicularly. I'm not going to show this process again because the video is getting a little bit lengthy. So I'll see you when I'm finished. Hi, so I'm back. So the next step is to rotate this paper about 45 degrees. And you can't see the full paper, but I'm going to try to move it around. So let's fold the corner on the right, like around here. So we're going to bring the corner to this point here. And we'll do the same thing on the left. For the bottom, we're only going to fold it up about 1/7. So it's going to look like this. And the next step is to fold this bottom edge up such that it is in alignment with these two edges, and it'll meet these 2 points. Resulting in something like this. And the next step is to flip the model over and fold this down 2 units as shown. Next, we're going to valley fold this entire line here like this, but we're also going to make a reverse fold here. So open this up and turn this into a mountain fold. And fold the flap to the right. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. The next step is to valley fold this section upwards like this. And we're going to fold the edge on the right over to the left as shown. So it'll be touching the edge on the left, and it'll be also touching the edge on the bottom. Next, we lift up this edge, and we're going to make something similar to a petal fold, if you've heard of that before. So again, this will be, we're going to open this and bring this edge upward. It's a bit hard to describe verbally again, but I hope you can understand by how it looks. Then we'll fold this to the right as far as it'll go, like this. And we're going to repeat all that on the other side. So bring this edge to the right, like this. Then petal fold. And fold it to the left. And give me just 1 minute to check the instructions. So the next thing to do is to, we have these 2 flaps here, so we're going to make squash folds for the eye. So there's going to be, for these flaps, there's going to be 2 thin edges on the outside and 1 thicker edge on the inside. We're going to put our finger around the thicker edge like this. So there's going to be 2 edges on the on the bottom and only 1 thin edge on the top, and we're going to squash downwards. And it'll look something like this. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And next, flip the model over like this. We're going to fold the head of the frog upwards to this point here. And we're going to fold it downwards again along these 3 points that I'm directing your attention towards. So it'll look like this. And we're going to bring the eyes over like this. Next, we will inside reverse fold on these little triangles here. So open them up, add 2 diagonal mountain folds here, and push inwards. Repeat on the other side. Next, flip this over and simply valley fold this flap upwards. And flip over again. The next step is where the model starts to get a little bit more complicated. Hopefully you've been following the tutorial so far. But we're going to mountain fold along these 2, these 2 diagonals here. And we're going to fold along the angle bisector between each diagonal and this center horizontal crease. So that'll result in a valley fold that looks something like this. A difficult thing is making sure that this part at the bottom stays folded how it's supposed to be. So you might need to make sure that you're checking on that periodically. We're going to repeat on the other side like this. And the model, as you can see, is not lying flat. So it's going to start to become 3D here. We're going to open these flaps and fold along the line connecting this point with this vertex here. Like this, resulting in a sort of rabbit ear fold. And do the same thing on the other flap. So to open it up again, this will look like that. We essentially just did a bit of a petal fold. So if we flip the model around like this, next we just valley fold this downwards. So next, let's focus on this flap that's in the direction of the head. This is going to be the front leg. We're going to mountain fold along this pre-existing crease to create a lock here and bring the front leg in. And all that's left to do is to diagonally valley fold the leg outwards as shown. It can be done a bit to taste, but this is how it looks for mine. And if you flip it over like this, it'll look, well, like that. Next, let's just reinforce this mountain fold connecting these 2 vertices as shown. Don't be too tough on the paper because it can slightly mess it up depending on what type of paper you're using. We're also going to reinforce that diagonal between these 2 vertices like this. And we're going to create a new valley fold connecting these 2 vertices like that. So it'll look something like this. And the frog is complete on the left side. So now we're just going to repeat these steps on the right side. So enforce these 2 mountain folds. valley fold along the angle bisectors as shown. Create rabbit ear folds on the inside of each flap. Flip over and bring this triangle flap down. Select the front leg and mount and fold it inside the model. Then valley fold the front leg outwards as shown, or to taste. I'm gonna valley fold it a bit further, like this. Next, reinforce the two mountain folds as shown. And create a new valley fold as shown. So we can smush the model down and it'll look like this. Again, let me just fix the eye. I think part of the eye got stuck inside the model. But if we smush the model down, it looks like this. But if we allow it to open up, we can get it to stand and look 3D. The one last step to do is to curl the mouth upwards. And this is what the model looks like. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching. I love you, and have a good day.